Good evening. This is Freeholder Director Sylvia Patillo, and I want to thank everyone who is on our conference call. Before we begin, I'm going to ask the freeholders to identify themselves. Is Deputy Director Dawn Fantasia on?
Yes.
Thank you. Is Freeholder Anthony Fasano on? Okay. Is Freeholder Josh Hertzberg on?
Yes.
Okay. Is Freeholder Herb Yardley on?
Yes.
Okay. Anthony Fasano, are you on yet?
Yes, I'm on.
Okay, then everyone is here. Fine, thank you. I'm going to begin the meeting. Due to public health issues arising from the coronavirus situation, the Sussex County Board of Chosen Freeholders will conduct this meeting remotely via a conference call. Callers are invited to listen and will have an opportunity to make comments by calling 973-310-7191. This is the Freeholder meeting of June 10th, 2020, beginning at 4:30 p.m. Terry, could you please call to order? I'm going to call to order this meeting. Could you please call the roll?
Freeholder Fantasia? Here. Freeholder Fasano?
Here.
Freeholder Hertzberg?
Here.
Freeholder Director Patillo?
Here.
Freeholder Yardley?
Here.
Okay. At this point in our meeting, I would like to read a statement. I was horrified when the recorded footage of George Floyd's murder was released. There are no words to express the shock and sadness that I felt for his family when I saw that image. I believe that every life is precious and every life is valuable, and my deepest sympathies are with his family and with his community. Over the past weekend, we had numerous rallies for George Floyd around the county. I was able to attend the Friday vigil on the Green, which was very well organized. Everyone who came had the opportunity to bring a sign that represented a name or an opinion. There were signs that supported Black Lives Matter and signs that supported All Lives Matter. Other signs expressed the need for justice for all. But one sign that really caught my attention was held by a young girl who was sitting near Spring Street. She tilted her sign so all the cars driving past the park could read it. The sentiment was short, but very powerful. It simply stated, "We are better together." Indeed, the more bridges of trust we build with each other, the better together we will be. Would you please stand with us for a moment of silence, and please remember George Floyd's family and his community. And please join with us the salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Number 4, I'm going to read the public statement. Pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, PL 1975, adequate notice as defined by Section 3D of Chapter 231, PL 1975, has been made by regular mail. Such notice being submitted on June 2nd, 2020, from the Administrative Center of the County of Sussex, located at 1 Spring Street, Newton, New Jersey, to the following: New Jersey Herald, New Jersey Sunday Herald, the Star Ledger, WSUS Radio, and WNNJ Radio, and is also posted on the bulletin board maintained in the Administrative Center for public announcements and has been submitted to the Sussex County Clerk in compliance with said act. We are number at 5. May I please have a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
I'll make the motion.
Second? Anthony, was that you?
Anthony.
Thank you. Okay. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Number 6, proclamations, certificates, and presentations. We do not have any this evening. Number 7 is public hearings. Also, we do not have any public hearings this evening. So we're going right to public session from the floor. At this meeting, there are 2 public sessions. The first one that we are about to enter into is on agenda only. If you have a question about the agenda, this is the public session you want to speak at. If you have a question about anything else, there's another public session at the end of our meeting. I would just ask that everyone please keep your phones on mute unless you're speaking so that we don't have all of that background noise and we can hear everybody properly. All right, this public session, as I said, is for questions and comments pertaining to agenda items only. Before we open this session, we ask callers wanting to make a comment to first state your name and municipality. The clerk will create a roster and will call each in the order received, and comments are limited to 3 minutes or less. So if you would like to speak on the agenda, could you please just state your name and municipality now? Is there anyone that wants to speak on the agenda? Okay, not hearing anyone. Could I have a motion to close this, please? Bring it back.
So moved.
Fantasia.
Hertzberg.
Second.
Fantasia.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 All right, next we're on to freeholder comments. I'm going to begin with freeholder Anthony Fasano.
Thank you, Sylvia, and thank you for your words at the beginning of this meeting. Before I begin my report today, I think we all can acknowledge that it has been an emotional and sometimes difficult period of time in our country recently. What happened in Minneapolis, the death of a man named George Floyd, is heartbreaking and flat out wrong in every way. Of course, it must be condemned. And of course, our country must reflect on what we collectively witnessed in front of our eyes and take action to grow as a result. Despite that terrible event taking place nearly 1,100 miles away from us here in Sussex County, it has not discouraged many of us from looking at our own reflection and taking a collective, hard look at the society in which we live. On Monday evening, I found myself reading an open letter from our sheriff in Sussex County, someone I have tremendous respect for. He said something that I found to be so important. He said, quote, "We carry a tremendous responsibility to protect and respect the civil rights of everyone we encounter as we enforce the laws of this state and nation. That is what makes our democracy unique, and we cannot be so cavalier or detached from that responsibility that we gamble with the consequences of not doing our job properly," end quote. I couldn't agree more, and I thank him for his words and his leadership. Justice is for all. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness are inalienable rights for every American, with no exceptions. And I know our country can move forward together with the empathy, unity, and respect that is required to share a nation and to share a future. Now to my county report, and I'll start with saying that Sussex County continues to see encouraging data regarding our COVID-19 efforts. Our curve has most certainly flattened, and as the governor announced yesterday, the state's stay-at-home order has been lifted and limits on indoor and outdoor gatherings have been raised. All of this is an encouraging sign on where we are headed, and still, Sussex County continues to offer COVID resources for our residents, such as the county's COVID-19 hotline, an interactive map of testing sites near your current location, daily reports, and constantly updated resources and guidance. All of this, by the way, can be found at sussex.nj.us/COVID-19. It is becoming quite clear that the ripples associated with COVID-19 can be just as harmful to our county as the virus itself in many respects. And perhaps that is most evident in our business community, where our local economy has been hit tremendously hard and where our local unemployment rate is staggering. The Sussex County Freeholder Board has already joined forces with our colleagues in Warren and Hunterdon counties to combine our advocacy efforts for our local economies and provide a one-stop gateway for business reopening by providing the best most current information available. That can be found at HunterdonWarrenSussex.com. But Sussex County has also been in conversation with our business community directly, including the Sussex County Chamber of Commerce, who continues to be a tremendous partner with us. With their help, Sussex County has been able to construct an interactive map of business reopening. And this link helps connect residents to local businesses where they can view what businesses around them are open, their status and hours, what they offer, promotions, etc. And I'd like to thank the work of our Department of Engineering and Planning that they put into this, specifically our County Engineer, Bill Coppinall, and his team. And as you may have heard, outdoor dining will be permitted effective June 15th. Sussex County announced yesterday that it has granted a no-cost blanket approval for all licensed food and beverage establishments to allow outside dining. More information will be following shortly, but we know that our restaurant community has been under tremendous stress for months at no fault of their own. And we know these places. We have for years. We know the people who own them and care for them. They are our family, our friends, and our fellow community members. We have to make it easier for them to safely get going again. It is such an important pillar of our local economy, and I hope this county action proves helpful for our restaurant owners who are eager to welcome customers again. In Sussex County, in many ways, we have to get cooking. Thank you all for joining us and for your time, and I'm very much looking forward to better days ahead. Thank you, Sylvia, and that concludes my report for today.
Thank you very much. Freeholder Josh Hertzberg, please.
Yes, thank you, Sylvia. For the record, I'm pretty sure that Freeholder Fasano stole my report and then made it pretty, put some fancy words in there. Just kidding, Anthony. No, very good report. I just want to reiterate a few things that you said. One, I'm glad to see that businesses are opening in our county. We desperately needed that. Like you said, these people are our friends, our family, our neighbors, and they're struggling and they're hurting. And one of the things that upsets me a little bit, even though we've come a long way, is that, you know, opening up these restaurants with only outdoor dining is almost like a cruel joke. Most of these restaurants, in order for them to operate and have to staff their facility, it's just going to put them at a loss. And I feel like the state should know this. They should have people there that they can talk to that knows that this is just not enough for these businesses to keep going. And although I know they need to open safely, we have to give them the opportunity to succeed. And I feel like we're not doing that. And I hope that the state changes that soon. I also want to thank Bill Coppinall and Tammy Horsfield, the Chamber, the EDP, for working together on this interactive map. It is a phenomenal tool. It's a great way that the county used existing resources and tools to create something that was very helpful in this time of need. I think it's going to be very useful for the businesses and for the people looking for those businesses. So I want to commend them on working together and their great work. Now, usually if anyone, you know, the few people that actually listen to these meetings, they know that I don't usually read statements. I usually just speak from the heart. But tonight I'm going to read a statement only because what's going on in our country right now is very close to my heart, and I get a little passionate, and sometimes I say things I shouldn't, not things that I don't mean, but maybe things that I shouldn't say in a certain venue. So I'm going to read my statement. For one of the first times I can remember, an act so terrible was perpetrated that the entire country unified in horror. My personal opinion is that certain powers hoped that would divide us, but it didn't divide us. Instead, it united us all against this act of injustice. They couldn't have that happen, so quickly they jumped into action, activating their terrorist branch, Antifa, to turn many communities' cries for help into attacks on those very communities. The stories of violence against all races, creeds, and colors was disgusting. The destruction of businesses and people's lifelong dreams. For so many, watching our country in literal and figurative flames was heartbreaking and completely distracting from what the message of the protests were supposed to be. I just don't understand how all the violence and all the hate is going to bring about the kind of change and healing that's needed. But if you're paying attention, then you know the people pulling the strings don't really want us united, because when Americans are united, we are truly an unstoppable force. They want us divided by hate, and there are just far too many people falling for it. Unfortunately, it seems so many times that the people who tell us to reject hate are the ones so filled with rage they can't hear or try and understand other points of view. We have to not only listen to each other, but hear each other. So although I don't believe we can legislate hate or write a bill that will end prejudice, there are things we can do to bring about change. There are things that as elected officials and community leaders we can do to set the bar. And it's 100% not defund our police departments. In fact, if anything, we need to fund these departments so that they can properly train their officers. My understanding is that departments in New Jersey are now only required to qualify with their weapons once a year. It's like we want them to fail. One of the first things I focused on when I became a councilman in Sparta was allocating funds in the budget for our department so that they could have advanced and reoccurring training. I recognize that so many of the grave incidents across our country seem like they could have been avoided with proper training. I didn't want to see that happen in my community. But the Sparta police chief took it a huge leap further. He instituted a program and a culture of community policing. An example of that was an annual event where the entire town was invited and officers were there serving ice cream to the kids of Sparta. The attitude of the officers and of the youth and residents towards our officers is much different because of it, because of his leadership and because of the caliber of officer that we have. I'm proud of the work they do in the community and that I live in. But it won't be police, and it certainly won't be politicians that abolish hate or prejudice. It will be mothers and fathers teaching their children. It will be the lessons that our kids get in the home that changes the world. Please stop looking to the government to be some magic answer that it can never be. Our country was founded on the principles of freedom and equality for all. A nation for the people, by the people. The responsibility to change our world is ours. It's up to us to have those uncomfortable conversations and not hide from adversity, but meet it head on. I was really proud this weekend to see people peacefully protesting on the Newton Green over the weekend. I was proud that our community was an example of assembling peacefully for a cause. God bless Sussex County. God bless America. Thank you.
Thank you, Josh. Freeholder Herb Yarley.
Thank you, Sylvia. I do have a statement to read, or at least to talk about before I read my report. Watching the events unfold and watching the videotape was just a horrifying experience. But I would like everyone to consider this. Police are expected to help residents who are sick, have gotten hurt, or who are scared and upset. The police respond to motor vehicle accidents and are asked to enforce rules of driving, including drivers who are impaired. They police the streets of our towns that we walk and where we work. They respond to stores when fights occur and looting takes place. Police respond to robberies, domestic violence. They issue warrants and deal with mental issues. They search for lost children and adults and visit schools, teach programs. They wear many hats. They're expected to be many different things aside from being just police officers. Every new and existing law requires a police officer with a gun strapped over his body to interact with a member of the public. Involves a risk both to the member of the public and to the police officer. The law enforcement officers killed carrying out such routine tasks as serving a warrant. The worst part is that one of these laws may come up as a result in a tragedy. The politicians who sent the police to run in front of the line to now run, politicians who made these laws run to the front of the line and tell them, stop. This is hypocrisy at the worst. Many responses that police encounter can turn to tragedies in a moment's notice. We've had 500 officers killed in New Jersey, and deaths are up 46%. Maybe it's time to re-examine some of the laws on the books, reevaluate the training, and increase the interaction between the police and the communities they serve. By doing this, they can better understand the problems of the people and listen to the growing censoriousness of the political class. Instead of issuing summonses for a peaceful demonstration because the governor says so, maybe a gentle word is in order to stay safe and maintain social distancing. We should remember this: justice, tolerance, and peace. Without these things, we have nothing, and our great country will fail its citizens. Thank you. I would like to read into the record a letter that was sent to Senator Sweeney, if I could, and I'll try to be as brief as possible. Sussex County began offering COVID-19 testing on May 8, 2020, using our county funds. Governor Murphy and his administration punted the responsibility of providing testing to the counties. It was almost impossible to find a provider because each county was in competition with each other. This put similar counties like Sussex, Salem, Cumberland at a disadvantage to bigger counties such as Bergen, Hudson, and Essex, who not only have more financial resources, but because of larger purchasing capacity, were able to buy tests easier and more affordable. Obviously, no government budgeted for COVID-19 testing this year, but we understood the importance of keeping our residents safe for testing for COVID-19. Our Freeholder Board felt it important to protect all of 140 residents with testing. However, there is no support from the state in the form of funding for the services. Our residents were eager to get back to work, and it is our job to make sure they're able to do this in a safest possible way. On May 5th, I sent a letter to Governor Murphy, the attached, requesting funding to help to continue to provide testing. As of today, I have not heard back on that request. Sussex County still has not received any state or federal funding support to help fight COVID-19. We know after Governor Murphy's meeting with President Trump, New Jersey was going to receive 550,000 test kits and 750,000 swabs. Has there been any decision made whether Sussex County will be receiving any of these tests? I'm asking if you could support our county and other counties that are in the same situation where they are providing COVID-19 services without funding. The state of New Jersey has received discretionary funding in the first round of funding from the federal government, which left out not only Sussex, but Salem, Hunterdon, and Warren counties. I'm asking if you could please support Sussex County's request that the state provide funding in order for us to combat this pandemic. Sincerely, Herb Yardley, and a copy went to the governor, Senator Oroho, Assemblyman Wirtz, Kimberly Wood, Administrator in Cumberland, Patricia Fedorchak, Clerk of the Board in Salem, and Office of the Clerk, Board of Chairs and Freeholders, Warren County. So just to read that the record. Aside from that, I'm very excited that the county is getting ready to open up, and I'm very excited with the new app. I want to say that I and my travel buddy, by the way, I and my wife are looking forward to going out to many of the restaurants in the county. And me and my friend Baxter are looking forward to seeing a lot of old friends. And that's my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Deputy Director Dawn Fantasia?
Thank you. I attended a Black Lives Matter rally on Friday as well. There were passionate and moving speakers there. The death of George Floyd was tragic. It was absolutely unnecessary. As we watched those events unfold on our TVs, and we couldn't get away from the pain of a nation as we took this in, our community in Sussex County chose to, share their feelings with this rally. As I was there, I noticed across the street there was a small group of individuals that came under the blanket or the cause of All Lives Matter. Point being that this county has received applications for the use of the green for a multitude of events, for these events, for LGBTQ causes, for 2A causes. My point in saying this is that I'm of the belief that it is every citizen's right to peacefully assemble, and I fully support any and all applications for peaceful assembly that come to this county, regardless of the cause. I do not get to be, none of us get to be, the moral compass for any individual or any group. It is your right in this country to do so. Now, I would like to say another tragedy is the sons and the daughters, mothers, fathers, any extended family and friends who were not able to say a proper goodbye to their deceased loved ones, not just those who passed from COVID. Because COVID was so prevalent, it does not mean that diseases such as pediatric cancer, they didn't go on pause. It didn't pause its ravage on children. And, as individuals who are elected and as local legislators and county legislators, and we look to our state and our federal government, we cannot be tone deaf. I feel that there's a tone deaf response at times coming from the Murphy administration with these issues, and we cannot quantify another person's pain. We cannot legislate in inequitable ways that create a class of winners and losers. We can't legislate against our own morality or the importance of a cause to us or the importance of even a death. George Floyd was somebody's son, and his death had a broad reach across the nation. But every individual who passed away in that Andover subacute center, they had a family as well. And they were not able to give a proper goodbye to their mother, to their father, to their aunt, to their uncle, whoever it may be. And I think one of the lessons, separate from the larger racial inequity lesson that's again presented to us as a nation, but one of the other issues that was presented or a lesson learned is that we cannot quantify another's pain or the importance of somebody's life to another group, and we cannot be tone deaf when we make rules and laws and legislation, because those times will never come back. Those people are expressing their pain, and they have never been able to bury their loved one or witness their loved one being buried. They were here one day and they were gone the next. And I just think it's important that we keep that in mind. Now, as far as county news, for COVID-19 testing as of June 9th, 11,413 residents were tested for COVID-19. 10,239 residents' tests were negative, so that's 89%. 1,174 residents tested positive, so that's an 11% positive rate. Thus far, there have been 181 deaths. 973 residents have recovered, 83%, and 20 cases remain under investigation. And what that means is perhaps our public nursing has not been able to establish contact, and they've tried a multitude of ways to contact those individuals just to verify that they are feeling better and they are recovered. So they're continuing those efforts to contact those individuals. Now, when we talk about long-term care facilities, 269 residents tested positive. That's 23% of our total positive cases. 108 residents have passed, or 60% of our total deaths in the county are attributed to long-term care facilities. To talk a little bit about mosquito control at this point, it's that season. The Office of Mosquito Control is fully staffed. It's operating for the 2020 season. Field and disease surveillance programs are in week 2 for adult mosquito testing. During the week of May 31st, the office submitted 20 samples for mosquito-borne disease testing, and they were all confirmed negative for Eastern equine encephalitis, Jamestown Canyon, West Nile, and St. Louis encephalitis. The office completed 1 air spray application on May 6th in Vernon, Hardiston, and Wantage. The total acreage treated in the Wallkill River and Pochuck Creek floodplains was 1,182 acres. Now, we currently have mosquito inspectors that are responding to public complaints, and they'll inspect suspected surrounding habitats for mosquito activity, standing water, etc. So due to COVID-19, inspection of public properties for man-made habitats have been suspended until further notice, and all public education programs for mosquito control have been suspended until further notice. Now to talk about where we are at with our public bathing facilities, there are currently 46 beaches that have been approved to open, and this number continues to increase daily. All pools are permitted to open on the 22nd of the month. The Division of Health is working on the guidance document today to provide to all pool recreational facilities, and the environmental health staff has already been in contact with those pools. So our inspectors are reviewing all the paperwork to ensure that all the pools that wish to open beginning on the 22nd are approved in a timely manner. Now, our day youth camps are permitted to open on July 6th, and pools in the day youth camps also will be opening at that time. And the Department of Health, the State Department of Health, is available this week. Their guidance is going to be available to us this week. So we'll be turnkeying that information to those youth camps. And as Freeholder Fasano had stated about the food permits, the outdoor dining is permitted on the 15th. So to give you a little bit of the numbers, 42 temporary food vendor applications have been received and approved. So again, through that temporary approval, that immediate temporary approval that we were discussing, I think that's fantastic that we were able to do that. I know Hunterdon County did do that as well immediately. And so the approvals begin the 15th and they'll expire December 31st of this year. If anyone wishes to maintain outdoor dining, so if it's wildly successful and they have a way to actually maintain outdoor dining beyond that date, they'll need to submit a plan application to the Division of Health. Now, as far as finance goes, we did receive a letter, and I just want to make sure that I have this up properly to share with you. Okay, we received it from Phoenix Advisors, and they S&P Global confirmed that the County of Sussex bond rating of AA+, which is only one level below the absolute highest rating that you can score. They tell us that they believe it's an admirable achievement, especially in light of the economic uncertainty brought on by the COVID-19 pandemic, and that the county has had effective planning, budgeting, and management through this. So again, that was definitely a compliment and points to the hard work of Elka and the team in order to make sure that we are able to meet all of our financial obligations, even in a time where we are not receiving what we feel, we may be entitled to through some of the government relief funding. As far as the library goes, there's going to be a children's author, Alice Faye Duncan. She's going to have a virtual visit to the Sussex County Library System for a special story time that focuses on the connection between adopted children and their forever families. So any child in kindergarten or above can join that story time on Thursday, June 18th at 10 a.m. via Zoom, and it'll be a Zoom chat. So you can visit sussexcountylibrary.org and just follow the prompts on there for the events to be able to see that. Sussex County College President John Connolly communicated with me that he would like to come to our June 24th meeting to directly address the board and the public on any updates and responses to the COVID pandemic and how it's impacting the college, and he wishes to be added to our agenda at that time. Now, I did get some really great communication. I have not given an update yet from this group, the Sussex County Arts and Heritage Council. Now, given the challenges of COVID-19, they did a beautiful interim report on the health and well-being of the Heritage Council. So, as Governor Murphy's orders on March 21st, the gallery was deemed a non-essential business and has been closed. They did apply for the Small Business Administration, the PPP, and also for an economic injury disaster loan. They were denied the Paycheck Protection Program because their payroll didn't meet the minimum threshold, and they're waiting to hear back on the economic injury disaster loan. They did say that they were very grateful to the county, to the German Christmas market, to the New Jersey Council on the Arts and the New Jersey Historical Commission for continued support of them. Unfortunately, they did have to furlough their staff, their paid staff in March to conserve cash and to be able to pay rent and utilities. They're continuing to make plans for the reopening, and they have the exposed photography exhibit. It's hanging right now, but it's hanging in the closed gallery. So as soon as it opens, it would be really wonderful if we can definitely support that. The New Jersey State Senior Citizens Art Expo will go ahead, but it's going to be a virtual show. So just so you know, that's something that that you can check out. There's a great newsletter that will be available to all residents if they go to the Sussex County. It's SCAHC.org, Sussex County Arts and Heritage Council.org, and you can read up on all of their plans. They do have a fall gala that's kind of, it's waiting in the wings, obviously, predicated on what happens with the pandemic. But, they're still there, and they're really chomping at the bit to get open again, which is fantastic news. So as far as my report, that's what I have this evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Today we find ourselves living in a new reality where over 1.1 million people in New Jersey have filed for unemployment. But because of the failure of the state's unemployment system, thousands of applications are still lost in the process, making it impossible for people to pay their bills or provide for their families. Also, when the Payroll Protection Plan funding became available, if you remember, that system crashed as well. The money from the Treasury was delayed and no guidelines were given to the leading agencies, causing chaos across the state and adding to the frustration and fear of the business community, especially for the business owners who realized they were ineligible for that grant. Meanwhile, numerous counties in New Jersey, including Sussex County, did not receive any direct federal aid under the CARES Act. Although the governor has $15 million in discretionary funds at his disposal, he has yet to release any money to help these counties. And of course, in just a little while, to make matters worse, rental programs that do not assist the middle class will add more pressure to the financial devastation our communities are feeling. If Governor Murphy does not fully reopen businesses and allow people to get back to work in New Jersey soon, the next conversation will be about homelessness. People are at their wits' end. They are exhausted from worry, frustrated from the lack of response, and angry because they feel so helpless. In the past few weeks, many business owners around the state have been forced to choose between losing their livelihoods or reopening up their businesses in defiance of the governor's executive orders. You have to wonder how in the world did law-abiding citizens find themselves in this predicament. The hypocrisy is blatant. Our businesses in Sussex County are all essential and the backbone of our communities. It is time to permit all of our businesses to fully reopen in a safe manner that enables them to become financially viable once again. Now for county comments. For testing information, the Sussex County testing site has been very successful. The county's COVID-19 testing center at Sussex County Community College in Newton is open Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings. To be tested, you must have an appointment and a prescription. The drive-through testing center offers a nasal swab testing. Please note the test is a nasal swab test for residents who may have the virus. This type of viral testing determines if a person is infected with COVID-19. The testing site does not provide antibody testing. That is a blood test which determines if a person has COVID-19 antibodies, not if they are currently infected. Testing is available for county residents 5 years old and older with a prescription. And to be tested, you must make an appointment online using the county website, sussex.nj.us. Residents tested to date are 318, and test results that are pending are 55. So the test results we have received are 263. And of the 263 tests, 254 are negative, 9 are positive. That shows a 4% positive rate out of 263 residents tested to date. Now, in Morris County, that testing site will remain open for Sussex County residents, but you do not need a prescription. Residents must schedule an appointment online at health.morriscountynj.gov. And this site is at the Morris County College in Randolph in parking lot 1. The center has tested and received test results for 545 Sussex County residents, and out of 545, 435 were negative, 110 were positive. That gives us a 21% positive rate from this site. Now, the Sioux Falls Federally Qualified Health Clinic is providing COVID-19 testing for their patients on Tuesday and Thursday afternoons from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. The clinic serves patients who do not have access to a vehicle and patients who are undocumented. A person who is symptomatic must first make a telemedicine appointment at Sioux Falls Clinic. And that clinic is located at 238 Spring Street in Newton. Phone number is 973-862-6650. Now, last Friday, we started having testing sites at 2 CVS across the county. The first CVS is in Byram Stanhope on Route 206, and the CVS in Sparta at the Theater Center Street are COVID testing sites. For more details, you have to call their numbers. For Byram, it's 973-426-0466. For Sparta, it's 973-726-3422. Now, Rite Aid in Lake Hiawatha in Parsippany is testing residents without a prescription. And for information, you can call 973-334-4343. Sussex County has developed an interactive testing map to assist our residents in locating other testing sites. That map is located at sussex.nj.us/COVID-19 within the yellow box. Next, we have Senior Services offers wellness checks for our vulnerable residents. Our seniors coping with social isolation and loneliness are at a higher risk for physical and mental conditions. Sussex County Division of Senior Services is now offering wellness checks for vulnerable individuals via phone call once per week. This will allow senior services staff to assess their needs, connect them to services, or just provide a person to talk to. If you know of anyone in need of this service, please call 973-579-0555 to set up a weekly contact. We have a farmers market vouchers now that are available by appointment or by proxy for seniors who qualify. A senior services staff member will complete the application over the phone for seniors or their proxy, and the applicant will receive information about the process to receive their vouchers. For more information or to schedule an appointment, please contact the Sussex County Division of Senior Services at 973-579-0555, extension 1221, or by email at stevensservices@sussex.newjersey.us. The last comment is for Mental Health Board video. It is normal and natural to have anxiety during the COVID pandemic. Our Mental Health Board has produced a video that shows ways to change direction which may help improve one's mood. The video is wonderful. If you're having a bad day, I suggest you just turn to it. It really will lift you up. The address is https://sussex.newjersey.us/change direction. Last but not least, I want to congratulate all of our graduates from the class of 2020. I don't know if I'm early for some. Not quite sure who's having graduations, but I see beautiful pictures of our graduates all over the county and on Facebook. And if I'm a little early, that's fine. But I would like to congratulate all of them and their families and wish them the best in all their further endeavors. Okay, that's the end of our comments, and we are on to number 10, which is approval of the consent agenda from A to C. The Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Sussex has reviewed the consent agenda. Could you please mute your phone if you're not speaking so that we don't have background noise? Thank you so much. Of various proposed resolutions and determine that adoption of the said resolutions is in and will further the public interest. If any freeholder would like to remove an item to be considered separately, please do so now. Is there anyone that would like to remove anything? Okay, not hearing that, could I please have a motion to approve the consent agenda resolutions from A to C?
Fantasia, so moved.
Okay, second?
Yardley, second.
All right, Terry, can we have a roll call, please?
Freeholder Fantasia,
Yes.
Freeholder Fasano,
Yes.
Freeholder Hertzberg,
Yes.
Freeholder Director Patillo,
Yes.
Freeholder Yardley.
Yes.
Okay. Next, approval of minutes, a regular meeting, May 27, 2020, and executive session minutes. May I please have a motion to approve the May 27, 2020 regular and executive session meeting minutes?
Fantasia, so moved.
Second?
Hertzberg, second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Okay, thank you. Number 12, appointments and resignations. We do not have any this evening. On to resolutions. We have resolution A through, what's that go to? A through G. Do you want to read? All right, I'm going to ask our attorney to read resolution A for us, please.
Can I do it perhaps over here?
You can do it over here, yeah. Right here.
Item 13A on our agenda was circulated in draft a couple weeks ago, I think. The final revision, was received, I think, earlier today from Freeholder Yardley. So I'm going to read that into the record, and that is what the vote would be on that resolution. And it begins.
I have a
whereas-
question. I'm
Yes.
sorry, may I ask? We did receive that. We received that at 4:09 today in our email, and
Right.
I've had the opportunity to read it. So when you read it out loud, I just want to see if there's an option to again table, because again, receiving it 21 minutes before the meeting and then just having it read aloud doesn't really allow us to do much with it to ask questions.
You know, Dawn, that's more than fair, and why don't we just table it then?
I would be more comfortable with that because it really was
Right.
a request for revision a couple times. So I think it's a really important resolution, very important resolution. So I understand it took a while to get it to where it needed to be, but my request would be that so that the board really could take a look at it so we're solid in what our sentiment.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. So,
All right. All right, can I have a motion to table resolution A until our next meeting?
Fantasia, so moved.
Second?
Hertzberg, second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 yeah, I do just want to thank
Do we need a roll
Freeholder
call?
Yardley for
Need a roll call on
the
that?
help in the revisions. Thank you very much.
All right, so now we're looking for a motion for resolutions B through G.
Fantasia, so moved.
Okay, a second?
Hertzberg, second.
Second, Anthony.
Okay, is there any discussion? Not hearing any. Terry, would you have a roll call, please?
Freeholder Fantasia,
Yes.
Freeholder Fasano,
Yes.
Freeholder Hertzberg,
Yes.
Freeholder Director Patillo,
Yes.
Freeholder Yardley.
Yes.
Okay, we're at 14, awards of contracts / change order bids, and we have one resolution to authorization to provide for the purchase of roadway crack sealant services for the Sussex County Department of Engineering and Planning from Micropave Systems, Inc., in the estimated amount of $300,000 for the 2020 season. The Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Sussex has reviewed the award of contract change orders bids consisting of various proposed resolutions and determined that adoption of the said resolution is in and will further the public interest. May I please have a motion to approve Resolution A?
Fantasia, so moved.
Okay, second?
Second, Hertzberg.
Is there any discussion? Okay, not hearing any. Terry, would you call the vote, please?
Freeholder Fantasia,
Yes.
Freeholder Fasano,
Yes.
Freeholder Hertzberg,
Yes.
Freeholder Director Patillo,
Yes.
Freeholder Yardley.
Yes.
Okay, for financial, we're going to start with the payment of bills with A. Could I please have a motion for payment of bill list for June 10th, 2020?
Fantasia, so moved.
Second, please.
Hertzberg, second.
Second, Anthony.
Okay. Any discussion? Not hearing any. Terry, would you please call the vote?
Freeholder Fantasia,
Yes.
Freeholder Fasano,
Yes.
Freeholder Hertzberg,
Yes.
Freeholder Director Patillo,
Yes.
Freeholder Yardley.
Yes.
Okay, B is a resolution to authorization to cancel certain general capital improvement authorization balances. Could I please have a motion?
Fantasia, so moved.
Yardley, second.
Okay, is there any discussion? Not hearing any. Terry, a roll call, please.
Freeholder Fantasia,
Yes.
Freeholder Fasano,
Yes.
Freeholder Hertzberg,
Yes.
Freeholder Director Patillo,
Yes.
Freeholder Yardley.
Yes.
Number 16 is personnel. We have a resolution authorizing personnel agenda of June 10th, 2020. Can I please have a motion to adopt the personnel agenda?
Fantasia, so moved.
Okay, second.
Hertzberg, second.
Any discussion? Not hearing any. Could I have a roll call, please, Terry?
Freeholder Fantasia,
Yes.
Freeholder Fasano,
Yes.
Freeholder Hertzberg,
Yes.
Freeholder Director Patillo,
Yes.
Freeholder Yardley.
Yes.
Okay, number 17 is our administrator, Greg Pop.
My comments will be brief. Today, we were advised by the Department of Engineering that the Sussex County striping program is underway. There is approximately 60 miles that will be striped during this program at an approximate cost per mile of $2,000, and the total program budget for the year is $475,000. In addition to what was previously reported by the freeholders in regards to the COVID-19 pandemic, the Division of Health is seeking recovery data from COVID-19 positive residents. And so we just want to advise residents that the members of the Public Health Division will be coming to homes of those residents to check on their recovery status for those who tested positive for the COVID-19 virus, but have not yet responded to phone calls and letters that were mailed to their residents. For anyone that has any questions about the recovery data process, you can call the county's COVID hotline between the hours of 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. Monday through Friday, or leave messages after hours at 973-579-9488. Again, the COVID hotline is 973-579-9488. And that concludes my report.
Thank you very much. Do you have anything? Okay. So we can, is there anyone that has any unfinished business? Anyone? Okay, any freeholders have new business? Okay, not hearing anything. We're at number 21 on our agenda.
Oh.
Okay, could you please put your phone on mute unless you're speaking, please? We're at 21, the public session from the floor. This is our last public session, and this is open for questions and comments on anything. Doesn't have to pertain to agenda, on anything you want. And before we open this session, we ask callers wanting to make a comment to first state their name and their municipality, and the clerk will create a roster and will call each in the order received, and comments are limited 3 minutes or less. Can I please have a motion to open the floor for public comments?
Fantasia, so moved.
Second?
Hertzberg, second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Okay, we're open to the public. If anyone on this call from the public would like to speak, please just state your name and municipality. We will write it down, and then we will go back and call each one of you. So if you want to speak, please give me your name and municipality now. Okay, not hearing anyone. Could I have a motion to close the floor for public comment?
Fantasia,
Herb
so
Yardley,
moved.
yes.
A second, please.
Okay. Yardley, yes.
Yardley, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Okay, at this time, I'd like to remind everyone to please check the county's website at www.sussex.nj.us for meeting schedules. And we are going to go into an executive session this evening, and Terry, would you read it, please?
Yes, whereas the subject matters about to be discussed may be excluded from the public portion of the meeting by resolution of the Board of Chosen Freeholders as an exception to the Open Public Meetings Act pursuant to NJSA 10:4-12B, and whereas it appears necessary for the Board of Chosen Freeholders to discuss such matters in executive session, now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Sussex, in accordance with the provisions of NJSA 10:4-12B and NJSA 10:4-13, that the Board at this time enter into an executive session from which the public shall be excluded, and be it further resolved that the general nature of the subjects to be discussed relates to the following items authorized by NJSA 10:4-12B as number 6, matters relating to public safety and property, topic, potential litigation, and number 7, matters relating to litigation negotiations and the attorney-client privilege, topic, potential litigation. Be it further resolved that the deliberations conducted in closed session may be disclosed to the public upon the determination of the Sussex County Board of Chosen Freeholders, or provided by law that the public interest will no longer be served by such confidentiality, and be it further resolved that upon completion of the business for which the board has entered into the executive session, the board does not expect to take formal action after returning from executive session except to adjourn the regular meeting.
That is correct. Okay, can I have a motion, please, to go into executive session?
So moved.
Fantasia.
So moved.
Josh, can I have a second, please?
Second, Anthony.
Okay, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
This time, I would like to thank everyone who was on this conference call. Our open public meeting is over, and we will be going into executive session. Thank you very much for being a part of it tonight.